began on a quiet morning, on a farm where almost no one noticed her at all. The sun rose slowly over the farm, spilling golden light across wooden fences, tall grass, and rows of softly swaying corn. The air smelled like warm hay and fresh soil. Dew sparkled on every leaf, and the world felt brand new. The chickens were already awake. Cluck, cluck, cluck. They strutted across the yard, flapping their wings, pecking loudly at the ground, bumping into one another as if the farm belonged only to them. They were big chickens, fast chickens, confident chickens. And then there was Pip. Pip stood near the edge of the farm, close to the fence where wildflowers grew. She was smaller than the others, much smaller. Her feathers were soft and pale, her wings tucked close to her sides. While the others shouted their clucks into the sky, Pip watched quietly. She opened her beak. Peep! The sound barely floated past her own feathers. No one turned. No one listened. Pip closed her beak and looked down at the grass. She wasn't loud. She wasn't fast. She wasn't bold. But Pip was kind. She noticed things others didn't. A ladybug stuck on its back, a leaf trembling before the rain, the way the clouds slowly changed shape. Pip liked to think before she moved. She liked to look before she leaped.
Sometimes the other chickens teased her. Why are you so slow? Why don't you flap louder? You'll never get anywhere like that. Pip never answered.
She didn't know how to explain that being quiet didn't mean being weak. She just watched and listened and cared. That morning, as the chickens clucked and strutted, Pip felt something different in the air. A sound. Not a cluck. Not a crow. Not the rustle of grass. A cry. Help! Pip's head snapped up. The sound came from beyond the fence, near the river that ran past the farm. Most of the chickens avoided the river. It was loud and fast and unpredictable. Help! The voice cried again. Pip recognized it instantly. Freddy, she whispered. Freddy the frog was her friend. He was cheerful and clumsy, always hopping too far or landing where he didn't mean to. Pip liked him because he laughed easily and because he never made fun of her for being small. Without thinking, Pip ran toward the fence, slipped through a loose plank, and hurried toward the riverbank. The river roared louder as she got closer. Water rushed over rocks, swirling and splashing. And there on a smooth stone just beyond the edge sat Freddy. He was stuck. His legs trembled. The water rushed too fast on all sides, and every time he tried to jump, he slipped. Pip! Freddy croaked when he saw her. I can't get back. I'm scared. Pip's heart leaped into her throat. The river stood between them, wide, fast, terrifying. Pip swallowed. I'm scared too. Her legs shook. Her wings felt tight against her sides. Everything inside her said, turn back. But Freddy was still calling for help. Pip took a deep breath. I'm scared, she said softly. But I'm coming. The only way across the river was a narrow log that lay just above the rushing water. It was old and smooth and very wobbly. Pip stared at it. I've never crossed a river before, she whispered. The log shifted slightly as water pushed against it. The sound alone made Pip's feathers puff up with fear. Behind her, the farm felt far away. Ahead of her, Freddy waited. Pip placed one tiny foot onto the log. It wobbled. Her heart went thump. She froze. It's okay, she told herself. Just one step. She took another. The log creaked. Her heart went thump, thump. The river rushed beneath her, loud and wild. Pip's wings stretched out for balance, trembling in the air. She wanted to cry. She wanted to run. She wanted to stop, but she didn't. She took another small step, and another. Slowly, carefully, one tiny step at a time. The log steadied. The river didn't seem quite as loud, and then Pip stepped onto the other side. I did it, she breathed. Her knees still shook, but a tiny spark of warmth flickered in her chest. She had crossed the river. But the journey wasn't over. Between Pip and Freddy stood a hill tall, grassy, and steep. It rose like a giant in front of her, blocking the sky. Pip stared up at it. This hill is very big, she said. She took one step. Her foot slipped. Oof! She tumbled backward, landing in the grass. The hill didn't laugh. It just waited. Pip sat for a moment, catching her breath. I don't have to be fast, she told herself. I just have to keep going. She stood up. One step. Pause. Another step. Her legs burned. The grass was slippery. The climb felt endless. Halfway up, Pip stopped. The farm looked tiny below. The river shimmered like a silver ribbon. "I'm tired," she said. The wind rustled the grass as if listening. Pip rested for a moment. Then she stood again. Small steps, slow steps, brave steps. At last, Pip reached the top of the hill. She looked out over the land, chest rising and falling. "I climb the hill," she whispered. The spark inside her grew brighter. Beyond the hill stretched an open field, and the wind waited there. It howled and whistled, whipping leaves into the air. Dust swirled. Grass bent low. Pip stopped. "I don't like this," she said. The wind pushed against her feathers, tugging her sideways. It felt loud and angry and alive. "I'm scared," Pip admitted. She closed her eyes, then she took a deep breath. "I can be scared," she said softly, "and still go forward." She stepped into the wind. It shoved her back. She stepped again. The wind roared. Pip leaned forward, pressing her feet into the ground. Step, step, step. Leaves flew past her face. Her feathers fluttered wildly, but she kept walking, slowly. The wind softened. And then she was through. Pip opened her eyes. The field was calm again. She laughed. A small, surprised sound. "I crossed the wind," she said. Freddy was still waiting by the river rock, eyes wide with hope. "Pip!" he cried when he saw her. "You made it!" Pip hurried to him and gently guided him to a safer spot. With one careful hop, Freddy landed on solid ground. "I'm safe," he cheered. "You're so brave." Pip shook her head. "I was scared the whole time," she said. "I just took small steps." Freddy smiled. "That's what bravery is." They sat together for a moment, listening to the river, no longer so frightening. When Pip returned to the farm, the sun was low in the sky. The other animals gathered around her. "Did you really cross the river? And the hill? And the wind?" Pip smiled shyly. "I just helped a friend," she said. That night, Pip lay in the grass, looking up at the stars. Her body was tired, but her heart felt full. She was still small, still quiet, still gentle, but now she knew something important. Bravery didn't mean being loud. It didn't mean being fast. It didn't mean not being scared. Bravery meant taking small steps, even when everything felt big. And Pip, the brave little chicken, drifted into sleep, knowing that tomorrow, no matter what stood in her way, she could always take the next small step forward.